Hi everybody, my name is Sarah Wyman Grover. I'm writing under the name S.L. Wyman. I'm hoping to eventually be a full-time author. Right now I'm in process of editing and finishing up my first book, The Obsidian Gate, first of the Solarian cycle. For those of you who are new here, welcome, hi. And for those of you who are returning, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Way too long. But long story short, life, lots of stuff going on. I'll actually probably shoot you guys another video kind of explaining what's been going on at a little later date. Yeah, so that'll be coming then. I'm also in the middle of getting ready to do another, this is actually going to be a book review. I'm in the middle of getting ready to do another one, which I will kind of announce at the end because I don't want to take the focus away from the authors that I am going to be highlighting today. I will also be getting up with that video I keep promising on imposter syndrome. I'm working on a script right now. When I get that done, that video will be out as well. But that's not what we're here for, so let's get into it. The book we are here to discuss is called Vessel. It is the first of the Love and Dark series, which is a brand new series that just started. The first book just came out October 15th. It's a kind of a dark vampire, I would call it more of a modern action with a lot of kind of supernatural going on in the background. It's a very exciting series. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to not only be a beta reader for all three of the books in the series, but I've also agreed to be an ARC reader for the books in the series. And basically what that means is I have received what we call an ARC copy of Vessel of the book, which is an advanced reader copy, which authors will give people just in exchange for an unbiased review of the book. Just honest opinion here. I'm giving you a free copy of the book. Tell me what you think about it. So that's basically what we're here to do. I do apologize that I don't actually have a cover to show you for the book. But the copies I received are all digital, so unfortunately I can't show you the beautiful cover art, which it is gorgeous, so you should definitely check it out. When I get the video done, I am going to try to make sure that I link not only where you can purchase these books on Amazon, but also links to the authors' YouTube channels. These books are written by Becca C. Smith and Hina McCord, both of whom have wonderful YouTube channels that you should totally check out. Again, once I get my editing skills up to par and get those set up, there will be links to those eventually set up for you, so you can check out their channels. I highly recommend it. Becca's very sweet, very creative. Definitely check out her merch store. Yes, you will be paying a little bit for these pieces that she makes, but they are very well made. They are worth it, and she is so crafty and so talented, and her and Hina do such wonderful work with cosplay and costuming. You really should check them out. So, definitely give them a chance. Definitely give their series a chance. But either way, let's kind of talk a little bit about those books. Again, release date for the first one, Vessel, was on the 15th of October. The second book, which I believe is Firstborn, will be coming out in November, followed by The Gutian Code, which is the last one in December, all on the 15th of the month. I'll keep you updated on those. Probably will also be doing reviews of those as well on this channel, just because I really want to support both Hina and Becca. They're great people. They're fun. I love joining their writing sprints, and they are very talented writers, so I really want to kind of help them out. Just in general. Now, before we get into any kind of synopsis or talking about the book, this will be a very non-spoilery review because, it's a brand new book. I don't want to spoil too much for people who haven't had a chance to read it, first of all. And also, I don't necessarily have permission to do spoilers at this point, so I'm not going to. I'm going to keep this spoiler-free. I will, however, be providing a trigger warning here for these books, if you decide to read them, because they are very violent and gory. I will say that right now. It's vampire books. It's a lot of blood and guts. If you can't handle that, you need to know about those books right now. And also, the bad guy, Kalius, we'll talk more about him later, he's kind of the worst. He perpetrates some pretty nasty things, and whenever he's on screen, bad stuff's going to happen. I'm not going to be too specific, but over the course of the series, you are probably going to be reading a lot of violence, a lot of blood and guts, gore, sexual assault, abuse, mental, emotional, and physical abuse and emotional abuse. Like I said, the bad guy is the absolute worst. So if any of that is going to bother you, or if it's going to trigger you, you might want to know about and not do this. As much as I hate to recommend it, I'm sure nobody wants to be triggered, and I'm definitely sure that Becca and Hina do not want anyone to be traumatized or upset by their work. So there's your little warning there. And then let's start out with a very simple synopsis of the book. Shelby Harper, you start out with your typical, she's getting ready to go to college, freshman or first semester. Just all the typical things that go along with that, being away from home. She hasn't really gone much of anywhere. She's kind of looking forward to getting out of the house. She'd rather get out of the town, but she's looking forward to at least being on her own a little bit. So her and her howdy best bud, Aiden, are heading off to college for the first semester. So at first you're like, oh, okay. Starting off kind of normal. And then things take a very hard left turn into the supernatural with the arrival of Lucian, who is the third character of the main big three. I can't go into a heck of a lot about some of them without spoilers, but that's basically it. It takes a hard left. Spoiler alert, it's a vampire book. You find out vampires exist, and she kind of has to deal with that, and she finds out that she is something called the Vessel. Again, not going to get into exactly who or what that is, because I don't want to spoil anything, but she finds out she's, kind of a chosen one. And has to deal with the fact that her whole world just got dumped into an episode of Supernatural overnight, basically. So, that's kind of the Cliff Notes version, and then of course they have to move against the bad guy, who shows up again, Kalius, who is, once again, absolute worst, as the bad guy should be. So, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the characters. Again, I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. First one, obviously, is Shelby Harper. She's the main character. She's the titular character, the Vessel. She starts out as just kind of your typical, 18 to 20-something. Just trying to get through college. So, at first glance, there really doesn't seem to be too much to her, which I think may kind of be intentional, so that when her character arc really starts to take off, it's a surprise, and a good surprise, because at first you kind of have to struggle through a little bit of her development, because she's feisty, which is great, and she's got some great dialogue, but maybe not too developed, because she hasn't really been anywhere, so she doesn't have a lot of worldly experience, so you don't get much from her until the creepy stuff starts happening, and then you really see her kind of grow up, mature into this role, and she really develops into this very strong and BA character. She's very, very feisty. Like I said, feisty. She's very, independent, very free thinking, and you really kind of grow into her. Yeah, she still has some real modernisms when she speaks that can get a little annoying, but that you slowly start to grow into that. They become endearing as it goes on, and of course this is a 3-book series. Her arc isn't done. She's not done growing. This is only her first phase where she's starting to grow into herself. So, you gotta give her that little bit of wiggle room to grow, and she does as a character. She really becomes much more interesting and much more engaging as the story progresses. Second one, best friend Heidi Aiden. He starts out as the boy next door, best friend for life, super hot, why aren't they dating kind of trope. Now, I can tell you this right now without spoilers, that is certainly not all that there is to Aiden. So if you get a little kind of like, oh, well, there's not much to this guy, trust me, his character arc takes off in a big way, and you have a completely different perception of this young man by the end of the book. He's so much deeper and so much more, well, just so much more than what he seems when you first meet him. So it's very deceptive at first. You really, first meeting him, you haven't even scratched the surface. So I will say that his character arc takes off in a big way, and you get to learn a lot more about him. He becomes way more interesting as it continues, which I think is just kind of a trend with all the characters in general. But I'm really excited to kind of see where he in particular goes, because he's evolved very nicely from the beginning. Then let's move on to Lucian. The emo. I mean, there's really no other word to describe his personality. He is very emo, very dark, very cynical, grumpy as all get out. And you're really not sure about his intentions when you first meet him, because he really rides that line between, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a nice person? Is he not? What's going on with this guy? He's kind of got a big question mark over him at first. You're really not sure what to think of him, because on the one hand, horrible things. On the other hand, oh my god, once you learn more about him, I can understand why and where it all comes from. Because boy's had a terrible time of it. Again, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but to say he's had a really crappy life, big understatement of the century. He's gone through a hell of a lot. And again, I don't want to spoil the supernatural aspects of his character. He's kind of the reason Shay finds out that vampires exist, but I'm not going to give away anything more because, again, spoilers. But he's really, again, his backstory, it's heartbreaking. So if you're not too sure about Lucian when you first read about him, give him a chance. Trust me. It gets way deeper and way better and tragic. Which brings us to Le Douchebag, Kalius. You are gonna hate this guy from minute one. That I can't even with this guy. That right there is the most non-spoilery and nicest thing I could say about him. Just, then again, once you learn about who and what he is, it makes sense that he's the world's biggest douchebag, but at the same point, that doesn't excuse the fact he's the world's biggest douchebag. I guarantee you, this guy, Becca and Hina have done a fabulous job of really hammering home just how awful this guy is. They do such a good job of making you just, your heart breaks for Lucian. Absolutely breaks for him. You can't freaking stand Kalius from moment one. And just, they are really working up to making him, first book, he's still kind of in that evil, because I'm evil phase, but you can definitely see that that's about to open wide, which, I'm excited to see where they take that in the next books. I'm really hoping they kind of build up and move away from the evil from evil's sake, but that first book really cements just how awful this guy is. I guarantee you are going to be rooting for the good guys. You are going to be rooting for them through this whole book from moment one. Moment he steps on the screen. So, gotta give it to them there. They did a wonderful job setting him up as just the worst. So, what are the good points and bad points? I will start with plot, because writer, easiest place to start. I will say the beginning does lag a little. Mostly because maybe for me, that whole new adult feel, just going to college, is kind of meh for me personally. So I struggled to get through that. And like I said, their character arcs start out slow. At first Aiden and Shay are very, very much just that typical going to college sassy girl and her hottie best bud. That, why aren't you two dating? And it takes a while for that to change. So you do have to get through, I would say, about the first 80 to 90 pages before the plot zooms. But I will say, once that happens, it immediately goes to, well, that escalated quickly. One page, still pretty normal. Some squidgy weird things going on, a little bit of build up, and then the next page it's holy crap. We are now deep in supernatural territory, and whoa, that imploded really fast. So that's going to be maybe a little jarring for some people. The slow, then suddenly holy crap. But after the holy crap moment where everything kind of explodes, the pace does normalize. Mind you, it gets much faster. Kind of in keeping with that whole, well, that escalated quickly, but it does even out. The pace gets much better from there on out. Roller coaster ride right to the end of the book. So I thought that was pretty well done. A little bit of a lag in the beginning, a little bit of maybe somewhat awkward transition into holy crap, we're suddenly in supernatural territory, but it seems like maybe that's what the story kind of needed. They needed that shock moment where it happened. So we'll see what you guys think if you get a chance to read it. So anyone who watches this, I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comments on that. That's my kind of opinion on the plot. And there is a romance kind of subplot. It's tertiary, so it's not like a huge thing. But it felt a little out of nowhere to me. That went from, oh my goodness, I can't freaking stand you, to holy crap, this is my soulmate. It seemed to go from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. Maybe that's just because I'm used to more slow builds. I prefer that in a lot of the books I read, but at the same time, I think you have a lot of fate and destiny and that kind of stuff playing into this, so that could be part of the reason why it seems like, well, holy crap, that came out of left field and all of a sudden. So, again, interested to see what you guys think, but I thought it was well done. Just kind of hits you kind of fast, I felt like, but it was well done. Overall, I thought everything was very well written. Positives, again, I'm definitely seeing some real great upward trajectory with these character arcs. So if you're a character-driven person, you're going to like that. As far as plot, I don't want to say that it needs to be deeper because you're setting things up. It's still the first book. And I know things are going to get deeper and crap is really going to hit the fan as this series progresses. So, looking forward to that. So, I'm going to kind of hold my judgment on if I think the plot needs a little bit more, more than standard action-y going on, because they're still building it. They still got a lot of backstory to cover and a lot of stuff to happen if they're going to keep things kind of the same as they were in the versions that I read. Again, we'll see how that goes, and I'm not going to spoil anything for those books. Long and short of it, I enjoyed it. It was a good, quick read. Definitely something I would recommend if you're a fan of Sherilyn McQueen, formerly Sherilyn Kenyon, Dark Hunters, that series. If any of you are familiar with that, if you're a fan of that, you'll probably really like this. Maybe if you like your Kim Harrison, the Hollows series with the Rachel Morgan series that she did. Again, you'll probably really like this. And overall, again, I think it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm interested to see where these characters go. And in general, I'm just really rooting to see where these ladies take the book and where they take their channels in the future. So, yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. Worth it. Again, once I get everything set up, I will make sure to try to get the links attached to the video where you can find the book, where you can find their channels. Give them a like and a subscribe. If for some reason technology fails me and I can't, please look them up. They are worth it. It's Becca C. Smith and Hina McCord. And the name of the series again is Love and Dark. First book is Vessel. I appreciate all of you guys sticking with me and for watching this video, all of you who are here. Thank you. Welcome. I really appreciate it. And there will be more to come. As soon as I get it done, I'm going to be doing a review of The Misadventurers, an Almost Epic Tale by Stephen Partridge. I'm almost done with that book. So once I get that done and gather my thoughts, you'll get that. A video on just kind of everything that's been going on in the future of this channel, what I'm doing with it. And also a video, like I said, on imposter syndrome. So I'm excited. hoping to make this stuff much more regular. I know it's been a hot minute. Lots of stuff going on. But we'll talk about that soon. I've already rambled in your ear long enough, so I appreciate all of you who are here. Thank you for sticking with me through all this. I'm sorry if there are any audio or video issues. I'm not the greatest at editing. I am learning, and these will get better as time goes on. So I appreciate you guys and just beg your patience with that as I kind of learn a little bit more about what I'm doing and what I want to do here. So shout out to Becca C. Smith. Thank you so much for you and Hina giving me this opportunity, and see you guys in the writing sprint soon, hopefully. Have a good day, everybody. Be safe, and see you back in the next one. Bye-bye.